Welcome everybody to Mudflood was Armageddon. The Mudflood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I completely understand why Aaron and Marion were so upset with Moses they sinned. I dragged my feet in some people's eyes. It took me 3 years to denounce the Trinity. I get it. RJ has to be patient all the time. And I can tell when people get frustrated. But this is my first time being the end time Paco. It seems much easier than I try to make it appear for some reason. I have to show a disclaimer here. What if I have it up? I'm going to show some videos. I must have it in the download. So here's a fair use disclosure. I don't want to show too much of the videos, but I want to show some. I want to give the warning that I don't give advice except from the Bible. You have to take it from the other people, go to the doctors, whatever you do. The drones. Hey, did you like that? The money hat that hits the fan, that's like the shat that hits the fan, has left the hand. We have to deal with it. Here's that deal.
Going all the way around it. If you look between these two lights, you see the spinning light going all the way up and around. So it's probably something that has a frame like this, and then the 3 lights spinning around it. So whatever's going on here, it just doesn't seem like an efficient way of getting through the sky. And it just screams, look at me, look at me. And it just really looks like something someone would do just to mess with people. But I don't know. They want to be seen, whatever it is. I mean, you could easily not have lights on your flying machine. But this kind of started out 4 or 5 days ago in New Jersey. And I think
it started out, I think, last month. And so this guy's talking about, well, what's going on? I don't know.
Texas, the Midwest, 2 locations in Missouri, New Jersey. I'm working on an excellent video from Palm Coast, Florida, sent in by Amber. We'll probably take a look at that in the
nation and training to teach all the citizens of the world, when you see something strange, turn your camera sideways so it shows up good on video. But yeah, I mean, we've got what, 30, 40 objects here. It was just a couple months ago that I showed, it was definitely a different clip of kind of the same thing, and just filling the sky. The dogs are digging it too. But you know, these just appear to be regular thing about this. This is 4 days ago off the West Coast. This one's really weird. It actually kind of looks like the bluff above Laguna Beach, and there's a 4-story mansion hanging down the cliff right there. That's the way they do things there. Yeah, these just go down and appear to land in the water. Cops are getting called. Now, that's a couple miles out there. So the 2 on the left and right are quite a ways away from each other. So it's not like they're landing these on a boat out there. It would have to be 3 different boats, because they're all coming down, you know, Arizona 2 days
Kids
ago.
Just pointed it out. We're in Surprise, Arizona. And this thing has been flying around like this.
What is that?
It's gone.
Wait, no,
Oh, it just shot real fast.
Dude, what was that?
I have no.
So yeah, we got one shooting Roman candles, or I don't know. To me, it looks like something that's
That's not a
burning
Roman
out,
candle.
chunks of burning material are coming off of it. But at the end here, they say that it shot off really fast.
Shut it up.
This one, I'm a little bit leery of. They say this is happening in New Jersey. Anything that goes outside of the realm of things that I've never seen before, I'm really
That was interesting.
Circular orb with some sort of field around them, hovering. And this is what we're seeing now. So again, also other eyewitnesses seeing these sort of like wheel within crystal clear photos of these orbs also now being published. Do those look like drones to you?
No, they look like embryos.
Yeah, they look like some sort of embryo or some sort of massive, I don't know, circular orb with some sort of field around them, hovering. And this is what we're seeing now. So again, also other eyewitnesses seeing these sort of like wheel within a wheel, like something like right out of the Bible. Look at these. This is over New Jersey. Does that look like some sort of any kind of a drone that you've ever seen before? Well, the problem is we don't know because no one's telling us. And even in front of Congress, they're not. So that even looks like biblical drawings, like a wheel within a wheel, like Ezekiel.
Where you might want to detect what's flying, and then you have a larger area around that where you might be tracking, but regular commercial drone use is okay. And so as they're getting closer and closer to the facility, you're detecting originally the signals to see what is that drone. You're trying to identify the drone. Oh, is that a UPS? Is that
like a long distance radar or something like that?
Exactly. So is that a UPS drone that's just delivering a package somewhere? Let it go on its way.
Is that
getting
His
closer?
partner
UPS
says
drone?
something interesting.
Or something.
Are they stork?
Is that a UPS drone just trying to deliver a package? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe all of these drones are just holiday shoppers and they're just delivering packages.
Dropping off FBI jackets at the FBI office.
Or something.
Are they storks? Is it that time of year? Maybe
Yeah.
they're big.
So
Is that
like a long distance radar or something like that?
Exactly.
Heads-up
So
radar
is that a UPS drone that's just delivering a package somewhere? Let it go on its way.
Is it getting
closer?
Is that a UPS drone?
Right?
Is that a UPS drone just trying to deliver a package? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe all of these drones are just holiday shoppers and they're just.
yeah, I saw the whole clip of this, and his partner there, that guy in the flannel shirt, said, they'll shoot down, they'll help people starve in Gaza and shoot down this, that, and the other thing, but they won't shoot down a drone because it's like, well, it's private property and we don't know who owns it, so we can't shoot it down. Oh, really? Oh, come on. What? And we live in this world where everybody's got a different idea. Why the math? Why the sacred geometry? Why did they do this? Really not that long ago, a couple hundred years ago. Why were there Freemason lodges, Oddfellow lodges in every town? And hey, those look like drones. Because we're going to be fit into the body of Christ, which is going to be the physical representation. That's a new thing. We're a new thing. The earth is a new thing. This was a spiritual object lesson to a eternity past where angels are somehow in the mix. And so the world takes it to Atlantis.
What is sacred geometry? You can click the top right corner of your screen to watch that if you'd like, and it's also linked within the description. The biggest point that I wanted to stress is that all is awareness and consciousness. It is all connected and it's all energy. When we talk about sacred geometry, we're talking about that blueprint of creation. I think that it's the biggest point of working with things like magic, sacred geometry, Kabbalah, tarot, and these Hermetic philosophies.
Anything but Christ. That's their new ABCs. That's what this world does now. That's what they live for. And there's only a very narrow road. Who understands the mud flood was Armageddon, the architecture, the buildings, the orphan trains, and it washes over them. Yeah, there was a mud flood 1,000 years. There had to be a reaping. Very few people left, and all of a sudden, because there were the 2 sickles that reaped a harvest, wheats and tares, good and bad, grapes of wrath. The war that's coming, who's going to do it? They've already come up with it. You can do the work. This is from Germany, while you're the men that they don't need it, because now they got those battery operated things and they can just say they love their man, but their man can't do that. But they can build these things. They had to. The world was coming after them. The world was coming after everybody. It's coming after you. All you wanted to do was make a living. And the military industrial complex. Women, what are you going to do? You're going to get your butt to work. Because the wheels of progress are going to require it. Or there'll never be another mom that has an apple pie and the son did die, but
up to the days of the village blacksmith, men have practiced the art of forging. It is only during the past few decades, however, that forging has made its greatest strides.
That's not very long in the last few decades. Since World War II and then the 1958 when the Constitution had to be sworn that it hadn't been taken over by any outside influences. This is a couple decades ago. Yeah, my dad was alive. And I was born in 58. This is all new. It's all new. Everything just happened.
With its heavy press program, the United States Air Force has played an outstanding part in making those strides possible.
The United States Air Force was 1 year old. The United States Air Force was not formed in World War II. It was formed after. That was used at the Army Air Corps and things like that.
The story of the program begins with World War II. In February 1944, Germany was receiving its worst air drubbing of the war. Day after day, her air...
During World War II, when the Allies examined shot-down German planes, they noticed something disturbing. The planes contained parts which were far more advanced than anything the Allies had. These parts were huge forgings, basically large pieces of metal which had been squeezed under tremendous pressure in a press sort of like a gigantic waffle iron. These large forgings were stronger, lighter, and took far, far less time to produce than the methods the Allies were using, which partially explained how the Germans were making so many planes which performed so well. The Germans could quickly stamp out these huge, complex forgings, but the
aircraft were being shot down in great numbers. Her aircraft industry, we knew, was facing drastic shortages of men and material. And yet, as fast as we shot her planes down, more and more appeared to take their place. Where were they coming from? How was she doing? A partial answer to her production success was soon uncovered. The wreckage of a crashed Messerschmitt revealed that in the design and fabrication, unusual techniques had been used. The air site, some truly formidable transportation problems had to be solved. Special railroad cars had to be built and special routes devised. With most of the parts finally on hand, assembly of the presses got underway. It was necessary to design unique cranes and tools to handle these enormous components.
Obviously, the mafias of the other world were upset that the mafia in Germany weren't letting them wet their beak And this would help out their little people, and everybody, you know, should share the wealth. So Germany got taught a lesson. And now the United States is being taught a lesson that you shouldn't try to hog the dollar and, you know, get it all. The world is a lot more billions than the United States is millions. And, well, the United States said, but, and, well, they didn't want to hear it. And the World War II was a race to Berlin to capture these machines, to know how to do it so that they could start making the Boeings and the whatever the equivalent would be, the Aeroflot.
When completed, this super heavy forging press contained components made in countries halfway around the world.
Do you know how come we had to do this one in the United States for the Air Force heavy press from the United States Air Force? Because Russia got the big one. Russia got the big one. Preheat the metal, do it.
This included the 18,000-ton Mesta already built. Before we
By
had
1951, they were already kicking them out because Russia got the big ones.
The Mesta 50 has an amazing pedigree. It has forged parts for spaceships that put humans on the moon, the space shuttle, missiles, helicopters, tanks, and gas turbines. Every manned U.S. military aircraft had parts forged in it. Essentially, these huge presses made much of the advanced Cold War military machinery possible and had been a key component of national security. There's no way we'd have such advanced aircraft with amazing capabilities without these presses.
Yeah, and with all of the promise, with everything that's going on in the world, wouldn't you think that it ended up better? But it didn't. Our culture's been taken over because this is not a restoration. This is a judgment. This is a judgment, people. And there's a big, big difference in that. And where's it all leading, you know? Major deceptions, right? I mean, for crying out loud.
Leery of, just because it's so easy to fake things these days. It looks like a portal opening or something. The thing about this, though, is zooming in here, it's staying in one spot. The camera is kind of moving all over the place, but you can see that that's actually happening right there over the tree. Or at least it appears to be. That may be something that's easy to do with graphic design. I don't know, but it is staying directly over that.
They're absorbing around it. I know, Ala.
This is in Arizona. There's some language here.
I'm telling you, that shit, there was a shit ton of fucking lights right now lit up. It's just fucking hovering there.
He just called his brother and he told him to look out the window, and now his brother is on there. So, you know, brothers go when they go in like, what the F, you know, my goodness. So we're all grown-ups here.
It's getting brighter.
Yeah. I don't see them.
You guys don't see what I see on my camera because it's so zoom.
Bro, you still on the phone? Oh shit, they came back. Look at, bro, they're coming back. The lights are coming back.
See a little bit above it there?
In front of me, bro, right in front of us. Look, oh, the other light's turning on. Oh, there's the other lights. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, it's okay.
It's hiding
in the clouds. I'm zooming in.
That's my brother sitting in the clouds.
Yes, I'm zooming in, babe. I can see the saucers in my zoom. You can see it, Zaid, huh?
So you can hear the guy talking on the phone with his brother, and wherever his brother's at, he's seeing the same thing, apparently. Now, up at the top of the screen, you see a little grouping of lights up there. I don't know if that's a reflection, if that's somebody's Christmas lights down there that are doing a weird thing to the camera. And then I saved the best for last here. Guy sounds for real.
My God, look at it.
Now, these are the orbs when I did the Mount Shasta trip to see the Neowise Comet because it was convenient. The Lord just took me there because the road was blocked for it. It was crazy. It was a crazy month, but saw orbs, and this is what the orbs are like that people have been seeing for years there at Mount Shasta. When was that? 2018, 2019?
That's not a plane.
Yeah, they just float around.
That
and then they stop and look at the
wild.
trees.
Look at it.
And then they move on.
I can't.
That's not
That's
new.
going way too
I've
fast.
seen those within
That's
100
not-
yards, 75 yards.
Mess with my
Hard
camera.
to tell. It's close.
I had to go running and get my camera. No,
Kind of loud.
Believe me. Mess with my camera. Look at this thing.
That's what they used to call an orb around the Mount Shasta.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. That's not the way to use the Lord's name. But that's just
Okay, this reminded me of the old accounts where they would say they saw the sign of the Son of Man in the sky.
Well,
But
how does that remind you of that? I don't get that. So we saw that. Boom, you know what they're doing. Germany in the war. They just got him. They forced it. They did it in Great Britain. Forced the women to do it. It was all a race for technology in the 50s. 1958, they did the affirmation oath that the United States is the same and let's just keep it going. They did that, man. Now, a couple of quick pictures. There's this. How's that for pretty quick? That's from this morning's video. There's a lot of things going on. Remember what the sky is. Okay, and how the energy is generated. The electricity they sell us is free, practically speaking. And there's this kind of stuff, right? So, that was a legitimate question. Is that a drone? Is that an orb? What is going on? Had to get that off my mind. Remind you, it's a flat earth nation. The golden age is past because the mud flood was Armageddon. Me and my friends are never going to tell you anything else. Why would we? We're trying to prove 1, we're called; 2, we're chosen; 3, we're faithful to having your best interest at heart. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Nakame. That's how I say goodbye.